Hello! It's Friday, another beautiful Friday. Bonjour. They start already, you know. It's another beautiful Friday in Spice Country, and it's my pleasure to say welcome to you to yet another interesting program. Of course, Bonjour happens every Friday. Well, you should know that by now. Well, for the first-time viewers, it happens every Friday between 8 and 9 on GIS TV, and sometimes we do have the show happening simultaneously on GBN as well. I'm your host, Robert White, and I'm extremely happy to share the next hour with you. We promise that it's going to be interesting. But we're going to start with our Bonjour news. Of course, we want to extend congratulations to all the winners, participants in the Carriacou 2014 Carnival. Yeah, I understand Carriacou was a bomb this year. A lot of Grenadiers went up, but we'll be discussing that a little later with one of our guests. Now, the results of the Soca Mona competition, Brendan Kilabi Maki, so that's Brendan Maki, he placed first, Kester Brooks came second, and Kevin Boneless Samuel came in third, so that's the Soca Mona competition. Now, in the Groovy Monarch, of course, it was a Groovy as well. In the Groovy Monarch competition, Matthew Golden, and that's Gold capital N. Now, imagine how we do things these days. Now, he came out on top. Kester Brooks placed second, so Kester is the second in competition. And Brendan Kilabi captured the third place. So you see some names, doing well this year. In the Queen pageant competition, Renisha Wells, who represented Grenada, she placed first. Makiba Roberts, who also represented Grenada, so Grenada go up there and they mash up thing. Two Grenadians placing first and second in the Queen pageant competition. But of course, the third position went to Bettina Joseph, and Bettina is from Carriacou. Yeah, she's saying, I'll even come in and just make a clean sweep. So she represented, and she came third. Now in the Calypso Monarch competition, Anderson Leftist Matterson, he captured the first place, while Nashanda, remember Nashanda, she had a sterling performance at the not Soca Monarch, the semifinals in Grenville in July 28th last year. Yeah, and I remember they did for a lot of reasons, but I won't say it yet. So Nashanda Charles, she sang as Shanda, she placed second, and Kester Brooks, Kester again. Well, the only thing Kester didn't place was the Queen show. Anyway, imagine if Kester was in the Queen show, he placed. So Kester came in third. Right, so that's how it went. Now, let's go over to Trinidad now. Hats off to Mr. Killer and Talpri for making it all the way to the International Playway Power Soca Monarch and the Digicel International Groovy Monarch competitions. Of course, those competitions took place in Trinidad. And congratulations to Mr. Killer for placing second in the International Playway Soca Monarch competition. I call it the Soca Monarch triplets. Killer, Iowa, and Destra. Three of them tied for second. I mean, Trinidad have a lot of force. Bonjour, you think they're easy, right? Now, the Grenada Cultural Foundation webpage and Facebook account is up and running, right? Interested persons can visit the website at culture.gd and on Facebook page at the Grenada Cultural Foundation. And of course, it's Friday, so Fish Friday is happening even as we speak. We want to encourage you to go up to Fish Friday. Not now. I always say you can't go now. You have to wait until the show finish, and then you can head up to go up. You still have some fish because they usually have quite a variety of fish in different forms and fashion on sale. So go up there, enjoy yourself, but after 9. We'll be right back, and when we come back, we'll be giving our first guest for the evening.
Bonjour, it's a cultural theme. Experience the goodness of the spice. Friday nights from 8 to 9. Culture at its best. A way of life, of customs and traditions. Bonjour, hear the stories. Listen to the music. Witness the action and the old talk. A real Grenadian cultural experience. Bonjour, a product of the Grenada Cultural Foundation.
one as good as I learned to play that drum, you know. I figure one as good as I learned to play that drum, but probably make a stint with Tivoli drummers or something. So, but before I learn to play the drum, I have work to do right here. So we have our first guest on the program this evening, and she is the new CEO of the Spice Mass Corporation, and that face is seen that. Hey, Bon J, they put up a nice lady face and just take it. That's right. Right? So she is the CEO, and her name is Amanda Smith. Amanda, I'm told that I have the honor of doing the first interview with you in your position. Welcome to Bon J.
Thank you. Thank
We're
you
so happy to have you on the set.
Thank you.
Now, even poor boy in the corner there and Tantan here, they're happy. You see Tantan smile? Tantan! They're happy to have you, and they usually eavesdrop on our conversation. They don't say anything at all, but you know, we could trust them. They don't tell anybody anything. They don't even talk to me about what they hear.
Yeah.
So you're in your new position.
I am indeed.
Who is Amanda? Let's start with that, because before 5 minutes ago, I didn't know Amanda.
Yes.
So who is Amanda really?
I am Amanda Smith from London. I'm born and raised in London. My mother is Grenadian, my dad's Jamaican. For many years, I've been in and out of Grenada, and a few years ago, decided this should be my base. What I've done many years ago is I used to be a DJ in London. I used to DJ soca music, and I was specifically only DJ Grenada soca, groovy, calypso, so strictly Grenada music. Right. And what I would do is go into the clubs and play Grenada music. People at first used to think, what is that music? It's not Trinidad soca. So what I did was throughout the years was to promote Grenada music. Okay. I used to do events as well in England. I had a very small Juve band as well in Reading Carnival. I did a lot of work promoting Grenada music and culture. And then I started to work with artists. Everyone knows Brother B, so I've worked alongside with him and Jimmy King. So you did some promotion of artists? Yes, indeed, yeah. And a few other artists as well from Grenada. And every year I would send out their music across to DJs across the world and stuff like that. Just help promote the music. That's what I used to do. Yeah.
Good. Well, hats off, Amanda.
Yes.
Right, for flying the Grenada flag, especially through music.
Yeah.
No, we speak about hats and you wear your hat on your head. No, that head has to wear a much bigger hat.
Oh, it does, indeed. Right? Indeed.
It's certainly not just calypso or soca, or it's certainly not just music, but you're now part of the Spice Mass Corporation.
Indeed.
Right? It's not going to be an easy, I'm not saying that to frighten you, obviously you must know what it is before you got to do the job.
Definitely.
It's an awesome undertaking. And I have seen many different persons handle that role over the years. And for some reason, some people we don't seem to have any one person for too long. It's part of the thing that I think we need to change. Yeah. We need a permanent face, somebody doing this day in, day out, promoting stroke preparing for our carnival. Yeah. Promoting not just here, but outside, and in terms of making preparation for export and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
What are your plans? How do you see yourself doing this? How do you see yourself making a change, really wrestling with this and changing Grenada's experience?
Okay, the main thing with anything is looking at this as a product, running the company as a business. And with every decision I make or we make is we put in business plans, business models, strategies, and we aim to help improve this product. Marketing overseas, that we have plans to do that, locally, as well as overseas, so internationally. When I say locally, within the Caribbean belt and then overseas as well. There's been some work done overseas, but we want to just help boost that. There are, as you know, different entities, or I call them assets in Carnival, so Calypso, Pan, Soca, Pretty Mass, Juve. There's a lot of different aspects, and we want to support them, give improvement, support, make sure that they know we are there for them. I operate on an open door basis, so I'm there. The door will not, you cannot come in, and I'm there to assist you. So yeah, we all just want to help every person reach where we should be. I mean, there was a top 10 poll done of carnivals in the world, and Grenada wasn't even on there.
No.
So, yeah.
No, they made a mistake. They made a mistake. No, they had a Bon J, Grenada not there. No, they have. Well, so now we know. Now we know that Amanda is here, and Amanda's responsibility is to make sure that not only are we in the top 10, but we you take drop the zero off and we left with only one.
Yeah.
That's the position we aim to occupy.
Yeah.
Of course, and I don't believe that it's too ambitious
No, not at
to
all.
seek to get there. Of course, we must make our product must be such that it speaks to and of Grenada.
Definitely.
Right.
And to be honest, it really does already. There's a lot of numbers that come in from overseas. A lot of people like traditional mass. They love the pretty mass. They like pan, and they like the music. So it's just improving those products and making everyone in those assets feel part of Spice Mass and helping to improve.
Amanda, let me say this. I was listening to a program. It was a BBC report, a Caribbean report, is one of those. And it was the end of a carnival season in another country. I prefer not to, let's leave the country nameless. And it wasn't one of the bigger countries neither. It was the end of the carnival season. They were giving a report on the results of carnival, both in terms of the individual carnival shows and so, and the carnival experience as a whole. And they ended that report with the theme for next year's carnival.
Right.
I'll never forget that.
Right.
And I said to myself, no, that's planning.
No,
that's
for
forward
sure.
thinking.
For sure.
And that was one of the things noticeably absent from our own carnival experience. You hear about carnival and you know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened even after Hurricane Ivan, right? So you know carnival is going to happen. Emily, both hurricanes still had carnival. But what you see is an absence of that kind of focus kind of approach to ensuring that carnival is thought about every day.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, when you go to one of the companies here that they sell food stuff, they deal with food stuff every day. That's what they're into.
Yeah.
If we have a cooperation, a Spice Mass cooperation that is designed to develop and promote carnival, they should be doing that every day.
Yeah, and we are now doing that every day. So we are actually planning a media launch very soon. The press release for that will come out next week. I don't want to say much more about that, but you guys will be very happy. And there are other plans that we will be doing. But I can say going forward, because in England, tickets are released in September for the following year. So you can actually book your Spice Mass ticket with Virgin or British Airways in September. You put down a deposit of £100 and pay the rest off 6 weeks before you fly. So we do aim by September of that year to state, this is our calendar, this is what we want to do, etc. So to capture that market. So
and that's
we will do.
important because
Very
people need
much
to
so.
plan.
Exactly.
Right? Yes, we know we're coming home for carnival, but it would be a good thing months ahead to know these are the shows, these are the programs, and I want to go to this show, that show. I want to book my holidays to coincide with the carnival.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be lead time to allow you to plan.
No, for sure. We will be doing this. So,
Good.
yes.
Good.
And we'll also be working very closely with promoters as well. So that's something to look forward to. So, yeah.
Okay. Now this is in terms of whatever taking the product as is now and promoting and marketing.
Yes.
But we need to look at the product too from the standpoint of sustainability. How do we ensure that they are the younger folks? Because as you grow older, right, you tend to get slower and you can't continue the carnival again. So how do we now ensure that the young persons are encouraged, excited, motivated to do carnival? One, to play. How do we ensure that they are motivated and they have an opportunity to learn to bend your steel and make your costumes?
Right.
Right. I know there's an effort to assist them to ride calypso. I think that's very good. Right. But how do you plan to address those developmental issues?
Okay, off season we plan to do different events ranging from different persons within the community. So we will be doing, we plan to do events with children so they could learn how to make, for example, a Veka shoe, bend, wire, know how, short knee outfits put together. And this will be for different persons within the community. So that's what we'd like to do. Also, working with the schools as well. If there is space in the curriculum that we can introduce these things to, that's what we do. But we are very keen on doing things off season to educate persons and also to raise money for the corporation.
Money, the big dollar sign. Now I was coming to that, so I'm glad you preempted me. Right? Carnival, like any other product, takes money to move it. And Carnival takes plenty money.
Yes, it does.
It is said that our Carnival is our biggest cultural event. So our biggest income generator as far as culture event is concerned.
Yeah.
But of course, it takes a lot to drive it as well.
It does.
How do you see the Spice Mass Corporation eventually developing as an entity that still depends on government subvention, or as an entity that is self-sustaining, because there are programs in place to raise funds outside, during, and outside of the carnival season.
Definitely we want to be sustainable. We want to be a business and a profitable business. And we have plans in place for short-term, long-term, and for going forward. So yeah, we do not really want to, no disrespect to the government, but you know, the government can use funds for other bits and pieces. And we do want to run a successful corporation so that we can continue to keep the tradition and everything alive. Also, we want to target other markets and stuff like that. So we do need to become profitable. Definitely.
And we need to export the carnival too. Find a way to creatively export it. Well, it's good to attract people here, but I mean, for example, we could go into a lot of things like Pete and Tin. I don't know. I look at this Shot Me outfit here that poor boy is wearing in the back.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's Pete and Tin. I don't know if we can lay claim to exactly how that particular design is done and say this is truly and authentically Grenadian.
Right.
So I believe that the Spice Mass Corporation in itself could even view those things. So with a view to ensuring that the product is not just from Grenada, but it is really Grenadian, because
Definitely.
it is Pete. I understand there was an issue where Trinidad almost lost the steel band.
Okay, yes.
Right? Although there's talk about the steel band and the origin is not necessarily Trinidadian. Well, it happened in Trinidad, but there's a Bon Dieu. Let me stop that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The very first program I had, there was a gentleman who explicitly explained that the man who started Pan in Trinidad was not a Trinidadian, it was a Grenadian. I just making a point. That's what I was told. If Trinidad was looking at us and they vex, well. So I'm speaking from the standpoint of making sure that what we marketed, what we grow to know as ours,
Yes.
can be not just culturally ours, but legally ours.
No, for
So
sure.
patenting is a very important thing.
Definitely, with trademarking, also copywriting, because I've copyrighted music, published music. So this is something we want to introduce to all the different assets in Carnival as well. Trademarking, copywriting, patenting, etc. Definitely.
Good. I like what I'm hearing. I see your passion. It is coming through. You exude it, right? I'd like to see that same passion because maintained throughout your entire tenure.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to see it is time. I believe it is time for our cultural expressions, Carnival particularly, to be organized and marketed and sold in a way that it can be as big as or bigger than.
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about big in terms of size.
Yeah.
It could be big in terms of quality as
For
well.
sure.
We don't need 300,000 people to come here. We probably don't even have the space for them. But we need a few people well to come and enjoy it, and we have repeat persons for Carnival.
Definitely.
Look at the Carriacou experience. I'm told that the official numbers were somewhere around 4,000 persons who went to
I was there.
Carriacou.
I was there in Carriacou.
And I was vexed. I said, Bon Dieu, what are doing down here? Every other person I hear being interviewed in Carriacou, what are doing here? You know, but probably another year. But I'm really happy to see the direction that Carriacou Carnival is taking.
Definitely.
And obviously, Carriacou Carnival falls under the purview of Spice Mass Corporation, I believe.
No, it doesn't.
doesn't?
It doesn't, no. But
Okay.
we do have plans to work with them, so for sure.
Certainly. I think even if it doesn't fall under your direct responsibility and control,
Yeah.
but it creates synergies.
Oh, for sure.
Because Carriacou is still Grenada, and you
Definitely.
can come to Grenada for 2 carnivals.
Definitely. And we
Good.
have plans to bring over parts of Carriacou Carnival to Spice Mass Corporation, but not to Spice Mass Corporation, to Spice Mass. I do not want to say too much because I like people to be surprised and excited. So yeah. So
You could get away with that. Remember, this is your first interview. And we could chat for the rest of the evening because that's a topic that I'm really, really passionate about.
Yeah.
But of course, we have time limitations. But I want to extend the opportunity to come back at any point again. Right? Feel free to come and continue chatting with us on Bon Dieu.
Definitely. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Amanda.
Thank you.
All right, and best of luck.
Thank you so
Right.
much. Thank you.
We are speaking with Amanda Smith. She's the new CEO of Spice Mass Corporation. And as I said, I can see she exuding passion and determination. And we want to wish her all the best in her tenure. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Bon J. It's a cultural theme. Experience the goodness of the spice. Friday nights from 8 to 9. Culture at its best. A way of life, of customs and traditions. Bon J. Hear the stories. Listen to the music. Witness the action and the old talk. A real Grenadian cultural experience. Bon J. A product of the Grenada Cultural Foundation.
There is still a place where untouched beauty meets soothing experiences and a warm people. It is a place where cascading waterfalls meet quiet meandering rivers to join silky stretches of white sand beaches. A place where you are greeted with the friendly smiles of the local people, while the rich aroma from the abundance of tropical fruits, fresh herbs and spices fill your lungs. A place perfect for curious minds intrigued by 18th century plantations, a water-propelled rum distillery, historical forts, and petroglyphs that are still visible today. A place where you can go turtle watching, feed mana monkeys, and marvel at water-filled craters created from extinct volcanoes. This place also allows you to enjoy perfect year-round sailing conditions while diving the world's first underwater sculpture park. This charming place is neatly situated in the Southern Caribbean and is popularly referred to as the Spice Islands of the Caribbean. These islands are Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. So come visit us as we take you on a journey like never before. Come, experience the rhythms of spice.
Welcome back to Bon J, and I'm extremely happy now to take our video moment. Yeah, we're gonna turn up things a little bit for this particular program, right? But we're taking our video moment, and today we are showing a piece of the competition in Carriacou, the Groovy Mona competition. What's his name again? Kilabi? Golden, sorry. Golden, that's what it's. So we captured Golden live on stage in the Groovy Mona competition, and we just want to share it with you. Take a look and enjoy.
Hi, babes.
Hi.
How you working hard, so?
To make the money.
But wait now, Jack's party today is Sunday, you know. They pay you already for last week?
They have.
Where mines?
What happened? So you're not tired?
Tired with what?
Every day I walk in. You just come and take all the money. Yeah, we went having fun. We ain't going no way.
Well, excuse me, Jackspa, but I have my nails to do, my hair have to do. Plus, you hear the government say they're raising tax? Listen to me, you just have to work hard, give me the money, and let me save it, okay?
Tax? What tax you talk about? You forgot what season we in? Hello?
No, I do not forget what season we in, Jackspa.
Well, anyway, tonight is Groovy. And I'm going in that.
Groove, what? Not with my money, you going in Groovy.
Your money?
Yes, my money.
I ain't see you sweating.
Do I have to?
Okay. If you say so. Well, anyway, either you in or you out. But tonight, I'm going in that.
Well, we are going to see about that because I know you going in your bed and sleep right now.
A matter of fact, I'm going all out. I might end up on stage too.
Well, we go see.
Yeah. Bandsman. Yeah. Yeah. You got to learn to love your life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Whoa. You got to learn to love your life. Put your hands up. Yeah, yeah. I go in all out. Cause I owe it to myself. Yeah. Nothing and missing me. I on a fencing spree. Getting on this big thing. I join in the back and I ring. Oh, season. Oh, yeah. Yeah. work so hard for your money. No afraid to spend a little bit. No, it never came easy, cause no one ever borrowed you it. Wanna go out, buy the bar, buy whatever you want for that. You only live one time in this life. Enjoy the vibes, cause hard work and no play. It can work for me. I must have fun at point in time. Free up and just ease up my mind. Cause I determine my happiness. Life shot, so I live in it to the fullest. I'm going all out. Cause I owe it to myself. Nothing I'm missing me. I unaffected spray. Getting on is me thing. I join in the back and I ring. A season cause I like myself. And when I get in on, don't get me wrong, cause I like myself. If I feel to jump, I'm gonna do that just cause I like myself. Best believe it, I live in stress free. Don't bother me. People, one thing you should know, I learned to put myself first. I'm in search of one thing. My happiness is so, study your own. I live in my life, I know what I want, I do what I like. Full joy in myself. Everybody sing. I'm going all out, cause I owe it to myself. Nothing I'm missing me. I'm on a betting spree. Getting on is with thing. I join in the back and I ring. One season. Tell me now. Time of your life, you know it's nice. Never let them get you down with a negative energy. You're confident about yourself, say yeah. You don't care what nobody said. You live to please yourself every day. For sure, just do it your way. Listen, your life is better than a dream cause it's real. Tell them my joy they cannot steal. I'ma live my life how I feel, yeah. Say nothing bad on me, say nothing bad on me. So that's why I'm going all out. Cause I owe it to myself. Nothing and missing me. I'm unaffected spring. Getting on is with thing. I join in the back and I ring. Oh, season now. Everybody sing. Say hello. If you owe it to yourself. Nothing and missing me. I'm unaffected spring.
Welcome back to Bonje. Yes, promise we are taking a piece from Golden. And Golden is the reigning groovy monarch for Carriacou Carnival 2014. And that was his selection there. All Out. That's the name of the selection. All Out. You see Golden dress? Bonje, they watch Golden so, you know. You have a bright gold and thing too. And while he was going all out, you see the crowd and everything, they was with Golden. But we also have two persons who participated in the Carriacou Carnival activities, and they have joined us in the studio now, and they participated not in the Groovy Monarch competition, but they were having their grooves otherwise. They were participating in the Queen show. Makiba Roberts and Renisha Wells. The Queen and her first runner-up?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Makiba, welcome to Bonje.
Thank you.
All right, and Renisha?
Thank you.
Good, looking very stately in your tiara and regal and royal, and obviously the competition must have been something that you really enjoyed, having come out at the top position.
Yes, it
Was it your first time in Carriacou?
No, it was actually my second time.
Your second time. Okay, what did you do first time around in terms of position?
First time in Carriacou?
Yeah, what was the position you placed when you went first time?
It wasn't the first time in Carriacou, but it was the first time competing in Carriacou.
That's what I meant. So you're okay, this competition now that you have won, was it the first time that you actually participated in this competition?
No, it was actually my second time taking part in a Queen show.
In Carriacou?
No, in Grenada.
Okay, all
Charles.
right. Well, congratulations.
Thank
right?
you.
And we have here Makiba. Makiba would have been, she placed second, or first one in her position. Makiba, was it your first time in competition in Carriacou?
Yes, it was.
Okay, what was it like?
Well, it was a great experience and I learned a lot from it. It was really nice.
Okay. And I see you, like you played Juve, and I've seen some tan on your face still, and I've seen this. Oh boy, I am told that there were a lot of people in Carriacou this year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is that you observed that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Which part of the Carriacou experience? Now, obviously, being in the Queen Show, I know the Queen Show would have stand out. What other part of the experience stood out to you?
The Juve.
The Juve.
Yeah.
Would you say the same thing too?
The Monday night mass.
The Monday. You see, of course, we have different people on the set and different attractions. Monday night mass. Somebody told me. Well, we had a guest on the program last Friday, who was making preparation to lead a band of Jab Jabs to Carriacou. Yeah, Jab Jabs went up too, you know. And I understand there would have been no less than about 30 or 40 of them officially in one house, but there were a lot of other persons who was intended and who had actually promised to join the band. So I imagine there would have been a big Jab Jab contingent Juve morning. You saw them?
Yes.
Yeah? Right. So you played them too. But let's come back to the competition. Grenada first, Grenada second, and Carriacou placed third. Right? How difficult was the competition? And I'm asking here, I'm almost like it's between the two of you because first and second position. But in terms of the whole experience, was it difficult? Did you find the other ladies very competitive, or did you have good camaraderie? I mean, what was it like?
Well, the show of a whole was, I could say it wasn't that competitive, but still it had a little competition to the end. And it was, we all came out and we did a good show.
Okay.
It was a nice show.
Okay. Now, the last two positions to call, right? And you standing there, right? And you wondering, well, the two of you wondering, boy, I wonder if it's going to be me. I wonder if it's going to be me. Right? How did you feel when you actually heard that your name called as a person who would have been a judge, the winner of the competition?
I felt really overwhelmed. I mean, happy, excited, just wanted to jump.
Yeah, and just break away. Yeah, but the queen can do that. True. And imagine the queen say, hey, and she pelt her waist. Yeah, no, but the queen don't behave like that. The queen do that for the Juve band, right? What did you portray in Carriacou? I mean, or what was the competition like? Did you have like evening gong and then your how you call it, your speeches and so, ambassadorial speech? Did you have that?
Introduction, costume, talent, evening wear, and interview.
It was a long competition, man. Yeah?
But it went by fast.
Yeah, okay. Your face looks like somebody who's very dramatic. Tell me what you did for your talent.
Well, I did a monologue for my talent. It was about the build-up of Grenada from the Union Jack, then came the other things we had in history up to independence.
Okay. So you took us back down memory lane.
Yeah.
Give us a slice of our history from Britain rule right up to independence.
Yes.
Well, that must have been interesting. What character you played doing that? Was it just yourself, or were you portraying some other character telling the story?
Well, I was an old woman back in the time, so I was kind of ageable.
Oh, okay. And what did you do for your talent?
I did a monologue based on AIDS, simply because I think people are forgetting that it's there. So I want to bring back the message that it is still here. Do not forget it.
How did that go down?
It went great.
You frightened them or what?
Some of them said, if you want AIDS, if you have AIDS, I want it too. So it was kind of shocking.
No. So wait, they feel that was AIDS like in that, because you have AIDS as in help and you have AIDS as in the disease.
No, so I actually said the disease.
No, that must have been somebody under the influence of alcohol.
Should have been.
Or it might have been somebody under the affluence of alcohol. So you had the evening. What did you portray for your evening wear?
The theme was seduction. It was purely red.
So everybody wore red that night, or just you?
Just me.
Okay. What did you portray for your evening
I
wear?
was the sea reefs, the coral reefs of the sea.
That sounds interesting.
So I was like a kind of light green, blue. Yeah.
Who did your costume in and assisted with chaperone and so?
Well, my chaperone was Miss Kinder Andrew, a teacher at the Grenville Secondary School. And she assisted me in mostly everything. And it was, her work was really hard, and I could not have asked for a better chaperone than her.
Okay. You don't know about me. I good, you know. And who was your chaperone?
I was assisted by Mr. Shemba Wells, also my cousin, and Mr. Donald Noel.
Donald Noel?
Yes.
I think I know that name. He teaches? He's a
he
teacher?
works somewhere in the ministry.
Yeah, I probably mixing up with somebody. Is it a fair guy?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I know him, man. I think I know. I just probably just mixing up being a teacher. But and of course, I imagine you would want to compliment your team who work with you as well.
Yes.
Good, good. So you've been to Carriacou and you came out first and second. Grenada. You carried the Grenada flag well. And I probably hate to say the Grenada flag because let's say the mainland flag because Carriacou is part of Grenada as well. But you carried the flag. What next from there? Are there any other competitions that you slated to take part in? Where do you take it from here?
So far, no other competitions have came my way, but if I'm granted the opportunity to take part in any other competition, I would surely grab that opportunity.
Okay, there's something called Miss Aquava. I think it happens in Carriacou too.
Yes.
But over the Easter or something thereabouts.
It's over the carnival.
Is it carnival too?
Yeah, late August.
Oh, okay.
Grenada's carnival.
So I mean, maybe Carriacou here you come again.
Maybe.
Ladies, we want to really thank you for joining us on the program. We want to congratulate you once again for being successful in Carriacou. And we look forward to seeing your face in other competitions. And we look forward to...
Nationals.
Sure. And we want to extend that kind of support and encouragement to you as you pursue your other competitions. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. It was nice being here.
Yes, and we want to extend an invitation, of course. There may be an opportunity for you to come and some other time on the program again. So until then, be good to yourself and continue flying the flag.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So we are speaking there with our first and second place winners in the Carriacou Carnival competition. The two young ladies from Grenada, Makiba Roberts and Renisha Wells. They went up and made Grenada proud. Congratulations once again, lady. Stay with us. We take a break. When we come back, more interesting features on Bon J.
Bon J, it's a cultural theme. Experience the goodness of the spice. Friday nights from 8 to 9. Culture at its best. A way of life, of customs and traditions. Bon J, hear the stories. Listen to the music. Witness the action and the old talk. A real Grenadian cultural experience. Bon J, a product of the Grenada Cultural Foundation.
Get ready for the referendum to decide our own constitution in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
We have the power to decide the content of our constitution, and we'll decide through people's power.
Constitution reform takes center stage in the Tri-Island state.
Join the debate, have your say, as our constitution evolves into a new era to protect and guide succeeding generations.
Follow and engage in the dialogue everywhere: radio, television, newspaper, internet, and social media, from Facebook to Twitter.
Attend and participate in live town hall meetings planned.
From Petit Martinique in the north to True Blue in the south and all points in between, the conversation on the Constitution goes national and to the diaspora: London, Toronto, New York, and elsewhere.
Constitution reform takes center stage, and together as one people, we will debate and decide.
Welcome back to Bon J. And we've been having a very interesting program this evening. And we want to touch base with our listeners out there because it is Lent. Today is the second day of Lent. Lent is Ash Wednesday, Thursday, today about third day of Lent. And in the Catholic religious tradition, Lent is a period where you give up something, right? The question is, for those of you outside there, what do you plan to give up? Catholics I'm speaking to, because other persons may not necessarily follow that tradition. But as Catholics, what do you plan to give up in this period of Lent? Right? To atone. What do you plan to give up? Some people give up X, they give up Y. I wouldn't make any recommendations or suggestions, but what do you plan to give up in celebration of the Lenten season, right? So the numbers to call 435-2636. Yeah, give us a shout, 435-2636, and talk to us with respect to your commitment to observe Lent and to give up something. So remember, you can call again, 435-2636. That's the numbers where you make contact with us at GIS Television. And you'll be live on the program Bunje with respect to your commitment to do something, give up something for Lent, right? And I'm speaking specifically to the Catholics, 435-2636. What do you plan to give up for Lent? I was saying I wouldn't give some suggestions, but while we are with the cause, I know there are persons who decide to give up meat. Yeah, so some people would buy a little more saltfish and probably some smoked herrings, but they don't eat meat. They will give up for the entire period of Lent. They will give up meat. Now some people give up liming every Friday evening, right? It's something that they like to do, but they give it up in recognition of, in celebration of. Some people, they do other things, and the money they save, they probably maybe want to give it to charity. But what do you plan to do? 435-2636, give us a shout. Okay, and while we wait on the callers there, because we won't wait forever, you know, right? While we wait on the callers, we have our next guest in studio, and the gentleman's, because I was about to say his name is Mr. Angus Martin, and if you could we have right? Let's have the cameras on Mr. Martin. I noticed he decided to outdress me tonight. He has his nice African shirt, but there's a reason why he came clad in this. Angus, I want to invite you and welcome you to Bunje.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just before we actually started the show, we had a conversation, and but first tell us what you do before you go into the conversation. Who's Angus? Why is Angus here?
I am the curator and director of the Grenada National Museum.
Right. Good. So Angus is the man who is responsible for ensuring that we preserve our artifacts and other things, you know, of our history that resides in the museum, right? But there's also, in terms of preservation, understanding, stroke preservation, you're also connected to another part of our history, right?
I guess I'm a historian. That's a part of who I am. I guess that comes with the museum, I guess. So I study Grenada history.
Right. And where have your studies taken you? Some of that study of Grenada history. How far has it taken you?
Well, I guess one of the things that I do is I study is colonialism and slavery. Mm-hmm. So in doing some of that research, you go to Africa in that sense to find a lot of the connections between West Africa and the Caribbean, and specifically Grenada. Some of the things that I've done is looking at African culture that survive in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm. And how interesting has that journey been in terms of the knowledge that you would have unearthed?
Well, they lots of, I think I was working on one of my first book, and it was A to Z of Grenada Heritage, and it was interested in looking at many different things. Even you look at something as Mama Glo, even though it has a French origin name, it really is something that's common throughout West Africa, where they call it Mamiwata.
Mamiwata?
Mamiwata, they call it. So you see a lot of these things. Like Duen is actually, there's a similar Ghanaian, the Imometia, different tale, Papa Bois. There's a similar one in Ghanaian folklore, So you see a lot of these connections between West Africa, Anansi is probably one of the big ones that.
So do you actually have Anansi as well, or referred to as another name as well?
No, the name is Anansi in West Africa. Yeah, okay. It's a Twi word, for spider.
Yes.
And they have a lot of, it's part of their culture because he was a sky god. But he came down to Grenada, in a sense, through lots of slaves that came from that area and brought their culture to Grenada. And today we still talk about Anansi stories.
We are told that it spoke of the slave trade because, of course, the Africans came to this side of the world as a result of the slave trade, as most people would know. And while we are primarily from West Africa, right? we are told that there were different tribes who came with different parts of the cultures, right? So even while we look at something as the big drum in Carriacou and the other representation of African folklore stroke culture in Carriacou, they still represent. If we break it down, we can see different tribes there, and some things are peculiar to particular tribes.
Right.
Right. How has your research been able to identify some of the different cultural expressions and what connections we have to what part of Africa?
Right. I think for me, I spent 3 years in Sierra Leone, West Africa, as a Peace Corps volunteer. I was out there, and I lived among the people that known as Timne.
Timne.
Timne, T-E-M-N-E.
T-E-M-N-E.
In Carriacou, they pronounce it Temene.
Uh-huh.
But it's Timne in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And learning about the big drum and stuff, there is in the nations, the big drum nation dance, there is a group called Timene. So recognizing there must be some connection.
So when you hear the Timne dance, for example, it is not, while it is a type of dance, but it's also representative of the tribe or the origin of the dance.
Nation dances basically, and they had them in Grenada as well. What it was is that everybody, I guess, if an enslaved person was brought from an area, when they got together to do dances, people would start doing the dances they were familiar with, their dances.
Their own nation,
it
if you want to
became
say that.
their nation dance.
Right.
So that's how it has come down as nation dances.
Oh, okay.
And the drumming may have been specific as well, and the costume and different things. So all of these came together to form the big drum nation dance.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you have all these nations, and you have Cromanti, which is basically the people from Ghana. Cromantin was a port where slaves were taken from. So they remember themselves as Cromanti, even though they were probably Ashanti.
Okay.
But that's the name because they came from that port. They were referred to as that. So that's Mandingo or Manding. So there are a number of different groups that are represented in Carriacou. And it's quite interesting. Carriacou is a small island. Probably its isolation may have preserved a lot of that culture because of that isolation, whereas in Grenada, it died out a little earlier. And there are a few villages in Grenada where you do find some Ribasali is one of them.
Poetry as
yes, that have some of these, still the nation dance celebrations and the Saraka and all of those things that make the connection to West Africa.
While I was growing up, there were so many different persons. Even St. Patrick's, so in the Sauterres, you had in Redhead Street, there was a lady that did it, Miss Dai, she was called. I remember her well. In Riverside, you had some, I don't remember the names, but you have some people operating too. You had some liver, and sometimes you have people travel around to these various exposition of nation dances and so.
Right.
It should be a big thing, a big part of it, some place to go.
Right.
Yeah, and it happened over days, 3-4 days, a week sometimes.
Right.
And every night, drumming.
The drumming and
deep
stuff.
in the morning. I want to touch on something though. In your research, how close to the origin or the source have the expressions in Carriacou, the drumming, the dancing?
Right.
How close to the origin have they? Let me ask the question different. Is it watered down? Is it close to authentic? Is it authentic at all? Has it changed over the years?
Right. Well, that's the thing about culture never remains the same. Culture is always changing. And if you remove a group of people from one place and put them somewhere else, they will adapt to that environment as well. And that's what happened in Carriacou. You have people that they interacted with other groups, so they would have taken things from other groups as well. So things have changed, but certain elements of it, the way somebody moves, the way they move their feet, how quickly, those are the things that people look for when you're trying to figure out connections. So you look for the certain way they move themselves. And and that is one of the way, because one of the things we did when we were doing some of the research in Carriacou was to record them doing the specific Timne songs and the drumming and everything. And a friend who was working in Sierra Leone, he took it back and tried to show it around, and people would be mesmerized by it.
They identified it?
Yeah, because they could hear elements
Okay.
You know, of their, you know, and one of the songs for the Timney is Timney Womano, you know, which some of the songs themselves are interesting because they do have a specific meaning within Carriacou, you know, so, but you play that to people who are familiar with the dances and things like that, and they start smiling, you know, because they hear something, they can make a connection.
Yes, yes.
You know.
That must be very interesting. You know, very interesting. I would, as I told you, offset. I met a guy a couple of years ago, Philip Tinimbo, and I remember his name well for a number of reasons. One, because
has a nice rhyme to it.
Yes, it does. It does. But he was interested in the arts and theater and all that. So we had many different conversations about theater and his involvement and the development of theater in Grenada, you know, where we see it going, things we can do. So we always chatted. And then he told me that he went to Carriacou and was able to observe the dances.
Right.
And he identified, he saw similarities between what they do in Carriacou and what they do home.
Right.
I couldn't remember exactly where he was from now.
Right.
And he was just so intrigued with that reality.
That the fact that this has elements of stuff that he grew up with is still in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And I think that's pretty unique about the big drum dance. It's probably one of the few places in the Caribbean where you have these elements that these different people came together, you know, and created this. And they more or less created the big drum dance, where they would celebrate their own individual cultures, nonetheless, within that larger forum. So it's quite interesting that it has survived the way it has, you know. And I think that's one of the things we set out in doing some of the research, is to figure out why a small group in West Africa, in a small country, Sierra Leone, would be represented in Carriacou. And we found out that it really has to do with Scots, people from Scotland, that in the slave island in Sierra Leone, which is called Bunce Island, was actually owned by Scots, and plantations in Carriacou were owned by Scots, and Scots traded with each other.
Right.
Thus, we have a large representation of Timney in Carriacou, and they're now part of this big drum dance.
We want to thank you so much for joining us. I mean, this conversation could go on because it's very interesting. I'm here and I'm just intrigued by the whole revelation and the research and the findings and so. But of course, we always constrain for time, and we have now to take our iconic feature video. So while you sit on set and with us, we now ask you yourself to enjoy with us as the persons on the outside who are viewing our iconic feature video for today's production. And that video, we are told, is actually done from one of the Carriacou personalities. Yeah, a guy who, unlike me, has a name that is black. Right? Black Man. All right, so let's take in a piece from Black Man from Carriacou, our iconic feature video for today's production.
Ladies and gentlemen, his name is... Woo! Let's hear it for the Black Man from 6 Roads in Carriacou. My name is Frankie Mitchell. Carriacou passe! Carriacou passe! Sit down and try to write a sentence that best describe independence in an effort to get our youths to understand the future of our country is in their hands, because the concept is I'm afraid, so we must sit and wait on foreign aid, because we sing in Hail Grenada, we pledge ourselves today. I say pledge without action brings no prosperity. We have to get up and get work till we sweat hands and hands in unity. Then Grenada, Carriacou and Pity Matic will be a better place for you and me. I am no preacher, but just observing Grenada. Nobody planting, nobody growing, and it's about the young ones I'm singing. They make the land the enemy, but agriculture is a woman industry. And yet we're singing, Hail Grenada, we pledge ourselves to thee. Tell me, I say pledge without action brings no prosperity. We have to get up and get walk till we sweat at and hands in unity. Then Grenada, Carriacou and Pity Man, it will be a better place for you and me. I don't want to paint a picture of doom, because for improvement we still have room. We have the talent, we have resources, so come let's join forces.
Right, and we were looking at the black man. Yeah, I don't see him again in competition. I don't know what has happened to the black man, but you know, he was one person who was a very good representative from Carriacou as well. A very good voice, you know, nice, sweet sounding voice and good melodic renditions and composition as well. So that was Black Man, yeah? One J, you think we easy? I had to, I just couldn't let Brother Martin go, boy. I had to just grab him back to ask him one or two other questions. So let's get it. Yeah, man, the man right here still. Carriacou, right? The Shakespeare Mass. What did your research find about the Shakespeare Mass in terms of origin, in terms of display and so on?
Well, I guess you look at the Carriacou Mass and you see how it combined Europe and Africa. The name of it, Shakespeare.
Yeah, that is also Europe.
But one of the things they do, the major part of it, is the stick fighting aspect of it. You know, the being beaten if you don't say it correctly, and, you know, the renditions, which is a derivative of African stick fighting, I guess. You know, so you see those two elements are combined very much, and which is what has happened in the Caribbean throughout. It's Caribbean culture.
Yes, and there's a fusion of the cultures from a different
Yes.
places,
So you combine those two elements, and we create a Caribbean or Creole culture. So that's, you know, you could look at where things come from, but what is it really? And it's what we create in the Caribbean.
Right. Oh, well, the time on the wall says about 2 minutes too. Right, so those of you who also always playing Shakespeare Mass and didn't see that connection to Africa, they realize that actually the Shakespeare Mass, as the research shown, is a fusion of the cultures. Right, it's very interesting. I mean, on this side of the world, I just love the Caribbean. It's just such a diverse place and because of the various influences, the colonialists on one side, the Africans who came as part of the slave trade, our own people who grew and developed from here. You know, I just love this place, and I'm sure you do as well.
Very much so.
All right. You did mention about taking some persons from Carriacou to Sierra Leone.
That was the objective, but we haven't been able to raise the money, but it's something I really wish could still happen, because it would be really unique to take a group from the Caribbean to a West African country, and that you can show some direct connections.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they say Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome was built. So I want to still encourage you to keep trying. The monies may come from some source, some benefactor who understands and is interested in the trust and the promotion and the connection.
Right.
Well, the time has flown so very quickly. It's amazing what happens. You know, 1 hour seems to be like 10 minutes when you're really having fun. This evening, we were really happy to have some very good persons represented here this evening. Nice interviews, beautiful show. But everything must come to an end, even every good thing. So until next week, when we join you again between 8 and 9 on GIS TV, and possibly we have folks join us on GBN as well. We want to thank you and ask you to please be safe, please be careful, but have a very good weekend, have a very good week. Remember, this is Lent for Catholics and so be careful what you do, how you do it. But have fun. This is one life. We only got this life. It's not a rehearsal. This is a real thing. Take care.